Today's topic, how to take notes on note cards. Let's be straight, you're going to find a ton of information on your topic. But getting the right information for your speech out of all of these resources is going to seem like a daunting task. I mean, you have to sort through a mountain of information and then turn it into a speech draft, and then ultimately into a great speech. Fortunately for you, I got your back. The secret is taking notes in an organized way. I promise you, this will pay off big time later. Okay, to start this process, you need some supplies. You need some note cards, some sources, some highlighters, and a pen or pencil. Matt's about to take notes on a source he got from the internet. He printed this page off of this website. He's made a source card here, as you can tell, and he's numbered that source number 1. This is source number 1. He's about to take notes on source number 1. First, you're going to set aside 4 index cards. You'll see why we start with 4 in just a minute. Matt's cleared all the unwanted stuff off his desk because you really want to have kind of a clear, uncluttered desk for this. Now what he's going to do next is he's going to put a number 1 in the top corner of all of these cards. And that's going to correspond with the source that he's getting all this information from. All of this information on these cards is going to come from this source, which he has labeled his source number 1.
What I'm doing here is writing my subtopics down. My subtopics are the history of skateboarding, the Zephyr Skate team and how they changed skateboarding, and the skateboard itself.
So Matt's going to use these 3 cards to take notes from this source. Every bit of information that he finds on the history of skateboarding, he's going to write into that card. Anything he finds in this source about Zephyr is going to go on this card, and anything about the skateboard itself is going to go onto that card. Now he just needs to start reading and writing down facts on the appropriate cards. The speech is organizing itself as he is taking notes. So Matt's found something on the history of skateboarding in his article, so he's writing it down on that card. He's going to continue to do this as he reads the entire article. There may be some information that you're not sure where it goes. It doesn't naturally fit into any of your 3 categories. So I suggest making a 4th type of card, the wild card. This is for information you're just not sure where it's going to go. You can decide that later. So all that information goes on this wild card. It may go into your introduction, it may go into your conclusion, or you may figure out where it fits later. Another thing that I found helpful is to color code the different cards. So I'm going to ask you guys to do that. You're going to assign a color to each of your subtopics, and that just makes sorting everything out easier in the end. So Matt's chosen yellow for his history of skateboarding cards, red for his cards blue for his cards on the skateboard itself, and orange for anything dealing with Zephyr. He's also chosen to make his wild cards green. What you do next is you just spend time taking organized notes on your topic. You'll do a lot of this. This is a research presentation, so you'll need lots of facts, examples, quotes, stories, etc. from lots of different sources. When you fill up a card, just start a new card. When you're done taking notes off that source, you're going to go to your second source, source number 2, in this case a book. Then on the top of these cards, you'll put a number 2, showing that you got all of that information from source number 2. And just like before, you label each card with its subtopic and its color, and make a wild card one as well. Please don't feel the need to cram tons of information onto every single card. You're not going to save any trees by using fewer cards. You already bought the pack anyway. So take your time. These cards are just too crammed and messy. Now here's what I'm talking about. A nice, neat note card. So I want to show you what this looks like at the end of the speech, after you're done with your presentation. This is a folder on someone's speech on Google and how it changed the internet. All of her stuff's in here. So first of all, you can see that she's got all of these note cards that she took. She took these on Google and pop culture, one of her subtopics, from all of her different sources, all of her note cards right there. These are on the history of Google, all of her notes on the history of Google right there, all together. And these are on Google behind the screen, which is what happens after you press search on Google. So she's taking these later and she's writing her rough draft. And when she wants to write this paragraph on Google and pop culture, she uses these cards to write that. When she wants to write this paragraph, this section on the history of Google, she's got all of her facts and information right there. And then for her last body paragraph on behind the screen, those are all of her notes that she took. So she got all these notes from these sources. Here's her source number 2, her source number 4, number 1, number 3. She spent a lot of time taking notes on all of these sources, and they ended up being those cards right there. So this organized way of taking notes really pays off when it's actually time to put your speech together. I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.